Welcome to Sadie and Rayne History.
Today we are presenting Eugene Delacroix's Liberty Leading the People.
I think we should start by defining liberty. Sadie, what is liberty?
Well, wouldn't it be different for everyone?
True, but when I think of liberty, I think of freedom to express how you choose. However, if you're looking for a more legitimate definition, Oxford Languages defines liberty as the state of being free within society from oppressive restrictions imposed by authority on one's way of life, behavior, or political views. So, what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, this is our overview. Today we will be introducing Liberty and the man behind her.
Oh, and then we'll be taking a closer look into the painting itself.
Yes, and then discuss the historical context behind it all.
Then we're going to explore Delacroix's symbolic intentions.
And finally, we'll make connections to depictions of liberty elsewhere. So the painting itself, Liberty Leading the People, was created in 1830 during the Romantic period in Western Europe, but more specifically France. It is made of oil paints on canvas. The artist behind Liberty Leading the People is Eugene Delacroix, who was born in 1798 in St. Maurice, France, and died at 65 in 1863 in Paris. His emotional and dramatic art challenged the structure and rationality of the predominant neoclassical style, so he is often considered a leading figure of the French Romantic movement.
Thanks, Sadie. I think it's important now for us to go ahead and look at Liberty Leading the People. So, Delacroix's painting depicts France's July Revolution of 1830. Highlighted in the center of the painting is Liberty, the one and only woman in the scene, standing strong with France's flag in hand. Liberty is an allegorical figure.
Wait, what does an allegory mean?
Good question. An allegory is a story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. So the most important thing to take away from Delacroix's painting is liberty is an allegory of the idea of freedom. Behind her are revolutionaries dead and alive fighting for France's liberation. Well, now that I think about it, Sadie, I have another question. What sparked Delacroix's inspiration to make the painting?
Well, Delacroix was born during the French Revolution and lived in a time of great instability and change for his home country. He witnessed firsthand the uncertainty and turbulence of revolution as he lived through the initial fall of the French monarchy, the corrupt reign of Napoleon, the re-implementation of the monarchy, and another end to the monarchy with the rise of Louis Philippe I as a citizen king during that July Revolution of 1830. Being somewhat of a revolutionary, Delacroix celebrated the constitutional monarchy created by the July Revolution. His depiction of the triumph of liberty in France is representative of his excitement over the victory of democratic ideas over the monarchy. Like you asked in the beginning, we can see that the definition of liberty to Delacroix and like-minded individuals includes a democratic government and the absence of royalty.
So, Sadie, did you ever notice the images around liberty?
Like what?
Well, first of all, when you look at the top right, there's the Cathedral of Notre Dame. It was a symbol of conservatism as it holds historical ties to the French monarchy and the Catholic Church.
Oh, it's almost like liberty has risen above it all.
Precisely. Then if you look at Liberty, her breasts are out as a representation of what once was. Her breasts are a reference to antiquity, the ancient past, especially the period before the Middle Ages, as well as the birth of democracy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Then another thing you can look at is one man on each side of Liberty. One man adorns a pistol in each hand whilst wearing a shirt with no jacket. He is a member of the lower class, but the pin sported on his hat creates the idea that he's got revolutionary sympathies. Then you can look at the other gentleman, who is dressed much nicer. He's got a top hat on, a jacket, and a vest. He holds a hunting rifle instead of a pistol, thus promoting Delacroix's idea that the revolution was not only for the poorer class, but also the middle class. Then we can see that the two men represent two different classes of people, presenting the greatest form of power, the power of unity amongst people, and the liberation you feel as those around you fight for the same ideals as you, though they may not have the same origins as you. Also, Delacroix's choice to feature a woman as the leading figure challenges traditional male-centered narratives, ultimately symbolizing that the revolution was a victory for all of society.
That's a really good point, especially because female depictions of liberty, similar to Liberty Leading the People, have become a very common yet powerful artistic trope across the globe. Like Delacroix's liberty, these personifications often represent freedom and triumph in the face of adversity. One of the most well-known of these examples is the Statue of Liberty in New York City. Similar to Delacroix's liberty, this statue does not represent a real person in history, but she personifies liberty and freedom for the people of both France and the United States. As a gift from France to the U.S., Liberty commemorates their shared democratic ideals and importance on freedom, as well as the unity between the two countries, despite their very different backgrounds.
Oh, just like the two men on side of Liberty.
Yes, exactly. Columbia is another female personification of liberty and democracy for the United States. Like our other liberties, she is depicted as powerful and virtuous and serves as a symbol for freedom. Throughout U.S. history, she has made appearances in numerous poems, literary works, and political cartoons as the face of liberty.
Okay, so let me make sure I've got it right. Eugene Delacroix, French oil painter, made liberty leading the people in 1830.
Yes, and liberty herself is meant to be an allegory for France's freedom.
Also, Delacroix was born during the French Revolution and took inspiration from the revolution to make liberty leading the people.
And he added minor details throughout his work to represent greater ideas.
Eugene Delacroix highlights the importance of democratic development and ideas through his representation of liberty.
So, don't forget about liberty on May 15th.
Thank y'all for watching.